Hey everyone, how is everyone doing? Can you hear me on this Monday night? Monday, October 16th, 2023. All right, so this year's gone. That's it. That's it. And here in the American hemisphere, Northern American hemisphere, it's about 10 o'clock at night, and I'm just doing my podcast. I was just finishing up some work, I had some dinner. And then, and I just basically, I was just working on some blueprints I had to complete, Got a lot of work, which is good, right? Now, what's going on, huh? How is everyone doing? And this amazing, kind of low-key Monday night, right? We had another rainy uh, Saturday. You know what it is? I was talking to my wife yesterday, actually not, well, the day before, right? And obviously, she's more positive than I am when it comes to weather, right? Every season is nice, you got to enjoy. I'm like, no, you know. 5 weekends of like constantly, this depressing rain and cloudy weather, and you can't really, enjoy the weekend when the weekdays are actually just nicer, But weekdays, what? You're working weekdays, so what's the point? In any case, I was playing golf Sunday, because Sunday finally, the clouds broke, I think, in the morning, early morning, because I was home Saturday, and I could hear rain, obviously, right? It was raining whole freaking day, whole freaking night, right? And then I'm like, okay, what am I going to do on Sunday, Because Saturday I was just, home, and just working. At least I had a few things done, Work is important. You got to, pay the bills. You got to get paid. You got to run the payroll, right? In this time of inflation and uh, high pricing, I mean, cost of everything, cost of living, cost of food, cost of, gas. And you think about it, even though I'm just one person, but I still have to pay for the whole apartment, the mortgage. My wife is not here, and I miss her. But think about it, how much expenses I have as a single person, right? Not as a single person, as in I'm single, but as one person, right? And it's amazing. It's fucking amazing. And yeah, I should basically try to cut down, but then, what else can I do? Like, if I don't play golf, Although, golf season is almost over. It's like October, mid-October. Golf season is basically over first week of November. There you go. In Northeast, right? Here in New York, New Jersey. And what else? I'm already depressed thinking of not being able to be outside, play golf, do outdoor activities, and just be miserable for the next 6 months, right? Up until like April. 6 months of misery, cold, wind. And on top of that, if it's going to snow and nor'easters, that's going to be really depressing here. So I'm not really looking forward to another winter here in Northeast, to be honest with you. What are you going to do, sir? You going to move somewhere? I don't know. It's not easy, moving somewhere is not easy, especially if you have all your clients here in New York City, especially, if your business is in New York City, then you're going to lose business. Yeah, you could say that, oh yeah, you know what, you can do remote work. Am I sounding so boring and obvious? I'm sorry, I apologize. But what's happening out there in the world, I have to say this. Having gone through, the post-September 11th, era, in the, sort of like the unspoken discrimination, whatever. I mean, I felt indirect, whatever, in this country in the post 9/11 times. And now this Middle East thing happens, right? And I'm thinking, given the ripple effect that 9/11 had all over the globe, and especially those countries, right? Is this going to have another effect, ripple effect, negative effect? And I was just like kind of worked up in my own thoughts, in my own head, that is this going to basically delay my wife's like interview, and that's not good, I hope not, because I don't know, man. It's just it's not a good time. It's just a bad time. It's just it's just not good. It's just not good for anybody. And violence begets violence, and nobody should condone violence or justify violence to achieve anything. Anything doesn't fucking matter. Unless you're doing it in self-defense, and that's just like questionable, right? Becomes questionable and all that, right? Like what we did in the post 9/11, months, and just politicians taking emotional decisions and doing this, invading all these fucking countries which had nothing to do with the perpetrators and whatnot, right? And I'm just hoping that the Israeli government, takes precautions and this and that, because at the end of the day, right? At the end of the day, who suffers? Who suffers in all this is the common man and woman and children, who have nothing to do with this, and who actually are just suffering because of some fucking bad apples, right? I don't want to go into the fucking history of the whole like the Palestinians and the Israelis, but I think at the same time I would say that as Americans, we should also be very careful, not being emotional. And I understand, this is not an easy time for a lot of people, and given the violence and this and that, I just hope and I kind of pray, although I mean, if there's any higher power out there, that all I think is collective human conscious, right? Consciousness, is that the word I want to use? I mean, all we want is some peace, and peace and stability, and I'm just hoping that the poor people, the innocent and the children, they are not affected, targeted through all this, and that's all I have to say. I mean, I'm not, I don't, my podcast is just talking shit, and I'm not here to explain or elaborate on the whole thing that's happening right now, right? I have no fucking qualifications. I'm not a politician, and I don't have time to even go through that. All right. So all I'm saying is that let's just hope for the best, peace and tranquility, right? And that's all I think I want to say. And and again, hopefully this doesn't have any ripple effects across the globe that would basically, impact other people who have nothing to do with this, any of this, right? All right. So what else is going on? So I played golf uh, on Staten Island Sunday, right? And I played okay. I think I don't know, my drives are getting worse for some fucking reason. I'm okay, on the fucking fairway, and I've been using the hybrid, and it works fine. I'm okay with the iron, but I guess my fucking drives at the tee, especially first couple of holes, I fucking suck, and that's not good. But well, I guess because I never took any fucking lessons, right? So am I gonna end up with, or have I ended up with a bad swing? I don't know. In any case, so um, what else? I'm just kind of, what do you call, not disheartened, that's not the word I want to use. Sort of like, you know, in this kind of, I feel misinformed, actually, misinformed in this whole case, after our marriage, that, the case that I applied for my wife, and then my lawyer even told me, 1 year, and then nobody told me, by the way, so 1 year is going to take, for application to be approved, and then the interview, you never know, no, nobody told me, and that's kind of like, sort of like, has thrown me off guard, and it's not good, it's not good, and because I had a whole fucking phone call with my lawyer even before we applied, even before our marriage, and she told me that's the best way, to apply through marriage, for her to be here faster, right? And now we are just on the mercy, or at the mercy of the people at the embassy, right? Because they uh, scheduled interviews, right? Whatever it is, I don't want to go into fucking details, but freaking details. But it just sucks. It just sucks, man. and it sucks for me, it sucks for her, and what else can we do? There's nothing we can do, now. I mean, if it's going to take another, who fucking knows? It's going to take another month, another 2 months, 3 months. Ooh, I have no fucking idea. Um, but being an impatient person to begin with, as I am, right? And then on top of that, I'm just kind of like discouraged, and then this thing happens, right? And means another war, and I'm like, what the fuck, you know? And without being too like fucking sounding like depressed, but I am kind of, that yeah, this is the time, we should be together, you know. And speaking of which, I've been thinking about, okay, so if it really takes like months and months, should we like, you know, have some sort of a base somewhere in Europe or maybe in Turkey, right? Because, it's like 8 hours of like flight for me, right? The other option is Canada. So let's see. All right. I don't want to go into fucking details, but she deserves to be here. And, I deserve to have her here. We deserve to be together. To hell with the world, right? Um, well, I mean, there are things that I think there are things that I just have to accept. I don't know. I don't know. It's just like I'm kind of like very discouraged in this whole process, and she probably feels the same way. But being at the mercy of this whole the whole like applications and all. I mean, we already went through all that, and now we are stuck. All right. So without getting too depressed, without sounding too depressed, and on that one, uh, is there anything positive that's happening in the world? Huh? Um, what's happening with the big ass rocket that Elon Musk is building? Huh? The biggest, what is it called? The biggest rocket that he wants to take to Mars. Is that what it is? Biggest ship? Biggest rocket. Is that what it is? Biggest rocket. Am I saying that right? Biggest rocket, rocket zero. Okay, hold on. Jesus Christ. Falcon Heavy. All right, so Falcon Heavy, right? So Falcon Heavy. Oh, wait a minute. But Falcon Heavy was from 2011. So what's let me Google this. Hold on. So what's Elon Musk's plan? When Elon Musk wants to land on Mars? Musk has made many tentative predictions about the state of Starship's first Mars landing, including 2029. All right, so 2029, everyone. SpaceX ambition of colonizing Mars. All right, so why are we using the word colonizing? Because a lot of people don't like that term, right? All right. I would say terraforming Mars. Terraforming, is that what it is? No. Uh, we're going to have actually a base there, right? A base. So he's talking about 2029, right? Means landing a ship with humans, I'm assuming, or without humans. All right, so whatever it is, seems like he's getting somewhere, and I think he's going to make it happen. And that's going to be actually the beginning of a new era for us, for humans, right? That for the first time we're going to have a human mission into nearest planet in our own solar system, right? Well, why don't we have a fucking base on the moon first? I don't understand. Why is Elon Musk so fucking keen on going to Mars? Is that because it's too sexy? It's sexier than saying, "Oh, you know what? Well, let's take humans back to Moon and then have a base there first. You know, some sort of like a real colony means not a colony. So don't use that word because some people are irritated by that word. All right, like the British, colonized the whole fucking world or whatever, right? All right, so uh, so the legit question is, why not first Moon? Huh? I think NASA is actually planning to um, send astronauts back to Moon. I'm hoping this time. Not hoping, sir. I think that's what's going to happen. Is that this time? I think they want to just establish some sort of a base there, right? So Elon Musk, where are you, man? I mean, why don't you just set up a fucking base on Moon first? Is that because Moon is just too close to us and it's just easy? Can't you just launch something from there? Wouldn't it be easier to actually launch? Why? No, I guess not. For us to have a base and then launch, rockets from Moon onto, Mars. I mean, how much distance are we actually saving? Not much. I don't think so. Right? So obviously, he has his engineers, SpaceX engineers, who have calculated this whole thing, right? Obviously, it takes about 6 months to get to Mars. Is that what it is? How long it takes to get to Mars? How long to get to Mars? Now, all right. The trip to Mars will take about 7 months and about 300 million miles. The spacecraft departs Earth at a speed of about 24,600 miles per hour, right? So there you go. That's it. So that's what's going to take about 7 months, all right? So 7 months, which is not bad. So if we are to send the humans, right, in a spacecraft, what the hell are they going to do for 7 months, huh? They're going to be in the what do you call stasis chambers? I have no idea. No, 6 months is not a long time for them to be in stasis, right? In a hibernation state, in a state of hibernation. I don't think so. So then, what are they gonna do? Like play like fucking video games? I have no idea. For 6 months. All right. So there you go. So I guess we discussed something. Something other than this is what's happening in the whole fucking world, right now, because uh, like I said last time, on my podcast, that for us to, just take a break from these gadgets, right? We have to have something else that's more human and this more, positive and this more, what do you call, constructive than like, just drowning ourselves into this fucking black holes of whatever you're looking at, right? And now with the whole fucking world, the news, and you're now in the black hole of whatever the hole you are in the news, right? So that's why we need some sort of a distraction, and that distraction could be, what the hell was that? All right, so that was my speaker in the other computer. So then um why do we have to fucking drown ourselves into fucking news like every second, every minute? Didn't I say that, for example, all these newscasters, depending on, and no matter, actually not depending, no matter who you listen to, what news channel you listen to on radio or whatever the hell it is, right? So if you think about it, what they are doing is they are just mouthpieces. Okay, so if somebody says, this is what's happening in this part of town, or there's some fucking wildfire, right? In Hawaii, or fucking some disaster, some hurricane down in fucking, what do you call, Florida, right? How does that change anything on ground? Right? Is it just like somebody just basically passing on the information? And then on top of that, there are people who bring their opinions. Oh, they're going to discuss the whole fucking topic for like half an hour, as if their discussion is going to change anything. See that? It's all fucking mouthpieces of one opinion versus the other opinion, right? All you need is just basically uh, uh, listen to some factual, you know, not like, bits and pieces, but factual, uh, like teleprompter kind of news, you know, uh, headlines or whatever, That's all you need. That's all you fucking need. You don't need any opinions of one person or the other person, because I can explain in my own words. I mean, you give me one fucking topic and I'm going to start. I mean, whatever, for example, I am good at, right? If you ask me about like, like engineering or things that actually, for example, this whole thing with the humans, exploring these fucking exoplanets, right? Just like looking at them through the new telescope, right? And then I'm thinking, and I'm saying that what wait a minute. Are we just basically, you know, the whole thing with listening to news, watching news, right? Isn't that just like we are the listeners, are the viewers, are right, are right, but at the same time, I think we are just feeding into this bullshit. That's why, like, I just shut off fucking news after like 5:30, 6 o'clock at night, right? I mean, when I'm in the office, I will listen to like news, like on many sides, right? On radio, on Alexa, right? And then when I come home, while I'm working or whatever I'm doing, I just listen to podcasts. Uh, those long format podcasts that Joe Rogan has, I think that has actually revolutionized, these discussions, thorough discussions about, anything and everything, no matter how controversial they are and this and that, right? And I think that's what the freedom of speech really is. Instead of these bites, like quick bites of like fucking 1 minute news and all that, right? And so all you out there, I don't know, maybe you guys take sides of one platform or the other. I have no fucking idea. That's your personal, preference. But I think what we, I mean, I try to be, I try to be rational as possible when it comes to like opinions about politics and again, the whole political machinery in any country, you name it, it's all an established chicken coop. You have to understand that. Any country, doesn't fucking matter. Some countries are using this whatever, constitutional, this and that, but the establishment is the same. I don't want to fucking talk about politics, but if you look at the whole chicken coop from a rational perspective, from a logical perspective, you're like, what the fuck, what is this, and and then we just become this part of this herd of sheep or whatever, goats, and then we just like sing along, sing along, sing along, right? And that's not good. That's not good. I'm not saying that you should or everyone should or me, even myself, I'm just talking through this microphone into my podcast to my 10 viewers, right, or listeners, that I'm not trying to revolutionize anything through this podcast. I'm just maybe sometimes I'm just getting things out of my fucking chest, right? This is like my therapy, talking to my own self, maybe, right? uh or in other cases, maybe I'm just interested in talking about things that actually may be abnormal. No, that's not what I mean. I am not here to, I'm not here to like tell anyone what to do, what not to do. This is their life. But what I would say is that life is more mysterious, and people, out of our own nature, people, all of us should actually try to peek into the mystery of life. Oh, what is that, sir? Well, I'm not saying that because I'm trying to find some sort of an answer to what is everything. You know, all of us, I think about the whole thing, universe. What is this reality? And I think I beat this topic to death last time, right? And if there's another reality, and if there's another reality to this, then, well, I got news for you, right? If there's another reality, it means there's another fucking way to live life other than this reality, and that means that our body, the termite, is trying to basically create or form this butterfly, right? and the butterfly is the non-physical entity of us, right? Like, I don't want to use the word intangible. Yeah, it's tangible, but we cannot like feel it, physically. Just like I can feel this phone, or or this, you know, piece of paper towel, right? So that's it. So that's, I mean, that I think that once we know that if it is doing that, then the butterfly is the one that's going to get into that other realm, other reality, and then that other reality again, I think, could be that fucking dark matter, dark energy. That's where the other dimensions are, which are invisible to our light, right? Our electromagnetic waves cannot detect the dark matter. That's why it's called the dark matter. Dark matter. But that's my own hypothesis, all right? That if there's another reality, right? Which is that, oh yeah, we have these three dimensions, right? Three dimensions of space, and then time always moves forward. It doesn't go back, right? And if there's another reality, then what is that like? Are there some other dimensions? Are we going to feel like we are up or down or left or right? And that actually may be what the termite is trying to tell, not tell, but the termite is going to basically turn into a butterfly. And the butterfly is going to learn how to basically navigate, how to, like fucking, like take off and fly through those dimensions. I think that's what it is, right? So then, okay, so the reality within the reality, right? The universe within the universe. I'm not talking about, oh, yeah, there's a universe inside a grain of sand. I don't fucking believe that. Inside a grain of sand is few atoms and few molecules. That's it. There's no fucking universe in there, all right? You can't just fucking squeeze the whole, Milky Way galaxy into a grain of sand. No, don't do that, sir, ma'am, please, okay? And so the universe as we see it, because the universe is so fucking vast, right? That for the obvious reasons, for us to actually, I think, meet other beings from other planets, right? Because that's going to cause a lot of friction, right? A lot of fucking friction, Sometimes these science fiction movies, they depict, their scenarios, right? Okay, so if the more intelligent beings, which I don't believe have ever visited us physically, I don't think so. Now, if they have visited us non-physically, means through interdimensional travel, then they're not interested in like meeting us physically, right? Because that would basically violate the prime directive, right? Prime directive from the movie, right? So I think they don't want to violate the fucking prime directive, right? Now, we don't have any capability to actually either go physically to another planet with beings on, or the ability to travel interdimensional, right? Which is through wormholes and all that, right? Whatever the fuck it is, without getting too technical here. But We don't have that capability. We are just basically these monkeys who have just learned how to calculate numbers like 100 to a few hundred years ago, right? I mean, for us to get into those other dimensions and then travel through that, and that's a whole different fucking ball game, right? We don't even have what do you call ABC of code or laws of even like what does it mean to be or have these other dimensions, means other realities, and what kind of laws are actually applied there, right? Mathematics, I don't know, I no fucking idea. Laws of physics, I no fucking idea either. But what is interesting, obviously, is that we have gazillion other stars and gazillion other planets, even in our own Milky Way galaxy, right? It's impossible that there are no other planets, similar planets like ours, right? That's impossible. But it's just a distance, sir. So there you go. I mean, how many times do I beat this horse? And no, we have not been visited by anyone. As far as I know, as far as any one of us know, as far as any government knows, as far as any rational human being can imagine. You know? So why does that matter, sir? Well, I'm just talking, I'm just talking shit. I mean, what do you want me to talk about? Like fucking problems in your life, problems in my life, problems on this fucking planet? Yeah, well, those problems always are there. Whether relationships, whether work, I mean, you name it. All right, you'll always be worried about getting up tomorrow morning. You'll always be fucking worried about like paying bills. You're always worried about fucking your relationship. I'm not saying you're worried about you're fucking up your relationship. I'm saying you'll always be worried about like these things, humanly, which are also animalistic, and which are also social and this and that, right? And then these days, people are just like looking for some sort of a praise and some sort of a fucking approval, right? Through social media, people are posting their picture. Well, that has been going on for some time, since the advent of fucking Facebook and whatnot, right? That people are posting, oh, I'm here, post their picture. Oh, I'm with these people. Oh, I'm on the fucking moon. Oh, I just got to Mars. Look at the fucking picture. I'm glad that I left that fucking Facebook. Facebook is so fucking going to like die. I think that's what it is. Nobody uses fucking Facebook. Nobody. Yeah, I understand people in the mountains, because they don't have any other means. Yeah. But they don't have to use the fucking Facebook. You know why? Because they have a social life. Wow, who fucking uses Facebook? Jesus Christ. Or any other fucking platform, right? Because it's just so toxic. It can be toxic. All right? I left Facebook in 2013. Right? Except now, I just post my podcast and that's it. And so for us humans, the more important things, the things that actually affect our lives, right? Oh my God. So really, sir, you just said that you're not going to talk about any of this shit. Any of these things. Now you're talking about these, right? Oh, there we go, sir. Well, this is my self-therapy, right? What are the things that affect my life, right? Well, coming back home lonely. Oh, by the way, so I was listening to Bill Maher yesterday, right? You know his show, Real Time with Bill Maher, and so he was talking about how this CDC guy, CDC, Center for Disease Control or whatever the hell it is, right? United States, that how loneliness. I think I actually uh, his how actually loneliness, right? So yeah, it's a fucking bitch. You know why? Because it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing for us humans. We are social animals, especially these days, because now we feel like connected to other people through these things. Remember, I talked about these things last time, my podcast. But this is not the way to actually connect to people. I mean, this is not. Well, yeah, well, these are just means to communicate to people, right? But our actual real social life is through one-on-one conversations, and that's the primal nature of humans, us humans, all right? And when you take that away from your own self, from your own life, or for whatever reason, maybe you're disheartened, maybe you feel like nobody likes you, maybe you feel like other people are just like they think you are an asshole. Well, fuck them, other people think that, oh, you know what, we are angels and this guy is just not good enough for us. That's even fucking worse. Yeah, no, I'm not a fucking angel. I'm not a messiah either. I'm just a flawed human being with imperfections, right? But in any case, where the fuck I was going with this? All right, so uh, what are the things, right? So what are the things that actually affect our lives, right? And what can you do to actually improve, right? What can you do? Because it's very hard to get out of that fucking cycle, right? And so for me, obviously, loneliness has been a long fucking problem for me, right? I mean, then COVID isolation and all that, right? But in any case, so I'm not lonely now, except that my wife is not here. But if you don't have human interaction, right? If you don't have fucking human interaction, that's not good. All right. So that guy from CDC was talking about that, and apparently all these other countries, they actually have ministries and they have departments for Department of Loneliness people. Department of Minister of Loneliness. Okay, so what the fuck they are doing? Are they trying to basically buy these fucking sentient robots for people who are lonely? So it gives them company. Is that what it is? From fucking movies? Just like fucking science fiction? I don't think so. But I don't know. How do you... Japan is, I think, at the top of the list. A friend of mine, actually, he's in Japan as we speak, is at the top of the list, and then some of these other countries, and then now United States, and because we are just in a fucking grind of coming home and just like, oh my God, man, Jesus Christ. Uh, so then what can you do to improve? I'm not saying that you just basically exert yourself upon other people to say, oh, I need friends, I need, oh yeah, well, you got to do something about that, right? Yeah, sometimes then you say to yourself, you know what, man, I'm actually better off by myself. But then you are better off by yourself for a few days, few months, few weeks, but then what? And then you realize, what the fuck am I doing? What kind of life I'm living? What am I doing all this for, And so That and then other things in life that affect you. What is it that actually make your life better? Happier, I think. Happier, that's the term. I think happier, more satisfying, right? I'm not trying to turn my podcast into some sort of a fucking advice. Who am I to give advice to anyone, right? I'm the fucking human being with like 99 flaws, right? 199. But this is the other thing, actually. This is the other thing, especially for men, all right? Men in the Western world, especially, is that men are actually more prone to this, like, not being social and all that, because the problem is that we don't open up, us men. I mean, I'm too fucking old. I don't give a fuck. I'll talk to anyone, and I'll just like, sometimes, yeah, I'm angry, and sometimes like things make me worked up, and but I'm at a point where I'm like, dude, you know what? If I have something in my fucking chest, I'll just say it. But not a lot of other guys are like that. They just basically suppress because it's like, it's very hard, especially in Western world, to even to your close friends, right? To talk about like what do you feel? What do you feel? Everything is okay? What's going on? These things people really don't talk about, especially among men. And and yeah, and that actually takes a toll on people. That's just, and I think I was like that. Obviously, when I was, even obviously in teen years, I was really not talking to anyone except for my couple of my friends, close friends. And and then through years being here in the United States, and sort of like I isolated. I kind of like took my own, what do you call, the solitude, lived in my own fucking solitude through whatever I said. I tried this, I tried that, and then I'm like, fuck it. You know what? And sometimes I feel like, yeah, maybe that's one way to do it, but then if you are still engaged in this world, means you're working, whether you're living in a city, or you're living in a suburb, or you work in a suburb, or whatever the hell you're doing, you're still engaged in this world, unless you become a hermit and you say, oh, what, man, I just, I think I did this, I did that, I tried everything. And none of this actually makes me happy. So maybe I should just just go out and just be a hermit in fucking nature, and just like, subsist and persist on the basic. And then what do you do? Try to find the answers to the bigger picture. I don't know. But as long as we are engaged, as long as we're engaged in this fucking world, we have to engage. We have to engage fully, as much as we can. Now, if the fucking society gives you a shit and they think you are some sort of an asshole and this and that, yeah, well, you might be, but you also have to look into your own, personal defects and all that, and try to improve those. That's very important. Improve those. And I'm not saying that you should basically like give into the fucking society's norms, and act like you are happy, and act like you have all these friends, and act like you are some sort of a fucking showrunner. I'm the fucking one-man show. I'm not even the forget showrunner. I'm just the one-man show. And so it's very important. It's very important for especially for men. And I'm not trying to like sound like masculine, and like, not trying to be like anti-feminine, but I'm not. Okay. What I'm saying is that it's harder for men to actually, take out their emotional, like, being out and, talk to other people, especially younger men, and even men in their 20s, because I've gone through that. I've gone through that, even in my 30s, I just didn't give a fuck, and I just like, dude. So, what the hell did I actually turn my podcast into something else that unintentionally, inadvertently, I just basically talked about something I don't fucking understand myself, you know? All right, so whatever. All right, I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna go back in time and erase this. But yeah. I mean, which choir, sir? Which choir you preaching? I mean, well, first of all, I have to preach myself, right? Right? Okay. So, what are the things that they're gonna make you happier, sir? Okay. So let's start, for example. All right. So on a practical level, right? So tomorrow is Tuesday. All right. Tomorrow is fucking Tuesday. What am I going to do tomorrow, right? All right, so I'm going to get up and either I'll, after my shower and all that, right? Either I'll make some eggs here, right? I have potatoes that I cooked last weekend, right? And then I'll go to work, and then, the phone calls are coming. I have to make phone calls, and my engineer is there, this and that, right? And then, first thing, obviously, I also have to call my wife, because, I'll be missing her, right? And then, okay, so then the day goes by, you get some lunch and, and do this, and maybe some client, wants to give you another project and this and that, right? All right, it's fine, right? And you have to have deadlines, sometimes you are kind of like worked up about things and this and that at work, and, whatever it is, right? And then and then you're also worried about fucking money, making sure that there's money in the fucking bank, and, you're not breaking the bank, and you just ran the payroll. Actually, I did run the payroll today. And and then what? And then, and then the day winds up close to like 5:30, right? And then I had to say goodnight to my wife, and, sweet dreams, and I love you, and this and that, right? And then what, right? And then I just come home, and then the fucking cog in the wheel, right? And that actually what actually makes me kind of depressed. Okay, so then okay, so if I'm a therapist sitting, next to myself, right, in front of myself, which this is what I'm doing right now, right? Then I would say to myself, okay, all right. So then what else would you do? Just come home, or what? I mean, do you want to do something else? Do you want to take a walk, or do you want to what is it? Um, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, um, I guess because work is good, because that's what I think about all the time. You know, that's what I used to think about all the fucking time. Most of the time when I was working, right, or weekdays, whatever it is, you know. And now our relationship, me and my wife, and this and that, where we want to be, right? Well, we have to be here first. She has to come here first, and then we'll make decisions, plans, right, etc., etc. And so the question then becomes, okay, so if that what actually makes you kind of worked up, that you're going to come back home to this apartment, it's nice and everything, right? Then and then you're going to talk to these walls, or I don't know, maybe you'll make a phone call or whatever. But then you would still be by yourself. And then, okay, is that the whole? I mean, it's this whole fucking conversation. When I talked about this whole thing with men, and the loneliness and this and that, right? And socialization and this and that, right? And the fucking media. So in any case, and then I'll be listening to a fucking podcast and this and that, right? So what is it? What is the change that I can bring in my life, right? That would break this cycle. That's a tough one, because I don't know what I mean. I have a lot of work, so I guess it's okay to, just talk to walls for like I don't know, like few minutes, and then get back on the fucking drawing board, listen to some fucking podcast, right? So, and then you look forward to the weekend, and weekend is so fucking cold that it's raining, it's already depressing, and you're by yourself, and it's just like, oh my god, dude, it's like fucking repetition of the fucking history, right? Recent history, and then what? And it just becomes this vicious cycle, right? So I think, did I actually just sum up most people's life in these few words? Most people's lives, I think it sums up almost everybody's life. Not everybody's lives are, unless you are a fucking billionaire, millionaire. Even then, you're working because you are working and this and that. Yeah, money is not an issue for you, but still, it's an issue, right? Life. So the stressors. So these are like the fucking stressing things, right, in life. So you want to keep your life like less stressful as possible. You know. So work stress is a big one for me. Money not coming in, that's a big one, right? So I had to work on that, and then general like well-being, right? General well-being, like what I said, was part of it, right? Okay, so what is the change that you can bring about, right? Do you want to go play something else? Do you want to go maybe play some other sports somewhere, or you want to go to the gym? Gym is kind of boring for me. Or maybe am I looking for some fucking easy way out, that, oh, I want to have some fun. Well, why not? Why not have some fun? Fuck it. Um, so yeah, life is gotta be fun. You gotta make it fun. Otherwise, if you've just been fucking miserable working, and even if you're not working, you're miserable, that's not good. Life has to be fun. It has to be balanced. I think that's what it is. Balanced fucking life. And that's what I'm looking for in my own fucking life. Okay? I'm not giving advice to anyone. This is the advice to my own fucking self, is that keep the fucking balance of life, sir. Alright? Balance of life means work, fun, sleep, food, etc. etc. Right? This is important, but then, how do you actually make this sort of a potion concoction for life, right? Because the problem again is that, for me, if you think about these things, I'm not saying that, I'm so fucking desperate that I need my wife here because I'm so fucking desperate. No, I need her here because I love her and she loves me, right? And it becomes easier. I think it becomes easier if you have someone with you, um, that you are, on some level, you want to be with each other, and there, of course, there will be disagreements, and there will be, you know uh, ups and downs in everything in life. That's what the fucking life is, right? Whether work or relationships, everything, right? But it becomes easier because then, if two people, you make plans, and whatever, right? So that's all I'm talking about, balance of life. For me, I think I don't have that fucking balance right now. And I think many people feel that way. I think, especially in the fucking Western world, which is just it's just an individualistic world, and nobody fucking cares. Like, I haven't even gotten any phone calls from anybody. But have you actually called anyone, sir? I don't have any friends here. I mean, my friend here, I don't want to name names. One of my close friends, he's in Japan, and I don't know. Maybe I also kind of, like, over the years, I just kind of isolated myself, like insulated myself from, like, the bullshit of, like, like people not understanding me or whatever, people start judging you, and I'm like, dude, I just don't want to like be in that scenario, in that setup, in that fucking whatever it is, like kind of like, like the whole fake thing, it becomes sort of fake, it's just like, we're doing this for the sake of whatever, right? And something genuine. You want something genuine in life, and then genuineness has to come from sort of like, the term from the bottom of your heart is what you're looking for, means in almost everything is from the bottom of your heart. Ask yourself, man, okay, so what is it that you want? What is it you are doing? What is it that you can do? Jesus fucking Christ, did I just turn my podcast into something else? I'm sorry, maybe I did, but all right, so it's already like 11 o'clock and I have to sign off. I'll see you all next week.